What is happening in the Bend, Oregon real estate market in December 2022? I'm Amanda Passanetti with Passanetti Group Northwest at eXp Realty, and today I want to help you understand what's going on here in the Central Oregon market so that you can decide if it makes sense to buy, to sell, to rent, to invest. What should you be doing in this current market? So I'm going to share my experience as long as some really important data to help you understand some things that are really happening in today's market so you can decide what's best for you and your future. Some of the things we really like to focus on when we talk about the market is what is actually happening today. A lot of the data that the media reports on is actually delayed sometimes 3, 4, 5 months from what's actually happening because they're looking at closed data. We're actually able to give you up-to-date numbers, and we like to look at supply and demand. So the first thing we like to look at is number of homes sold. How many homes were sold in the month of November? You'll see that 137 homes were sold in November. And if we look at the year-over-year comparison, you'll see that 197 homes were sold a year ago at this time, which is a 30% decrease. Now, why are we seeing a decrease? The reason is that a lot of people just aren't selling right now. And a big reason is that mortgage rates have risen significantly. We saw rates early in the year down in the low 3s and sometimes in the high 2s. And today we're seeing rates in the high 6s, low 7s. So the problem is that a lot of people are not selling because they don't want to sell and walk away from a really great low rate in the low 3s and then turn around and buy a home in the high 6s. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to people. So that's why a lot of people haven't been selling their homes. Next, let's look at the median sale price. Looking at the year-over-year comparison, the data shows that the median sale price is up 2% from a year ago, which is great. It tells us the market is still climbing a little bit. But if we look closer at the numbers, in March and April, we peaked out a median home price around $773,000. But if we look here at November now, that's down to $696,000, which is a decrease of 9%. So the media reports that the home prices are up last year. But in this market that shifts every week, it's way more valuable to look at the numbers in the last 30, 60, 90 days to get a real pulse on what's happening in the market. We also like to look at days on market. How many days does it take for a property to go pending in our market? Days on market in November landed at 18 days, which is higher than last November at 11 days. But let's take a look at the last few months. 20 days on market in September, 28 in October. So 18 days on market doesn't look so bad comparatively. Now there's definitely more good news out there. Inflation is most commonly measured by CPI, the Consumer Price Index. The report that came out in the beginning of November showed a considerable drop in inflation, and mortgage rates follow inflation rates. So if inflation starts to pull back a little bit, we'll start to see mortgage rates pull back as well, which brings buyers and sellers back into the market, and the market will start to pick up a little bit. So there's really good light at the end of the tunnel with interest rates lowering and the market getting stronger. Now, if you're thinking about buying, buy now. It's been a long time since we've seen great homes, like even amazing homes, below $500,000 in Bend. And if you're in the market to buy, you have a lot less competition from other buyers, a lot of inventory, a lot of choices. You can get the house you want in the neighborhood you want, with the terms you want, the great price, seller credits, all that stuff. You may not get the rate you want, but there are tons of options out there to do things like buy down your rate, refinance in 6 to 12 months from now once the rate gets considerably lower. When the market picks back up next year and the rates get lower, all the buyers are going to jump back in the market and it's going to be competitive again. And that's just not a fun market to be in. Now, if you're thinking about selling or need to sell because maybe you're moving out of town, relocating for a job, sell now before price drops any further to minimize your losses. If you have to sell and buy a new home, talk to your lender about your options because you do have a lot of options out there to help you lower your interest rates, do a buy down, and get a great deal at a home at a low price with great terms, which at the end of the day is the most important thing in the long run. I hope this was valuable information, and if you want to connect with anyone on our team, talk about the market, review different options, and have a strategy session, whether you're thinking about buying or selling, we can help you make the right decision that is best for you and your family. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us a message, and we look forward to connecting with you soon.